video, I'll be working on the artwork for July, Month of the Dragon, but it serves multiple purposes. This is also a design for a new species of dragon, the Rainbow Chaos Dragon, aka Wild Magic Dragon, that will be 5e compatible. I'm working on a book now. I decided to print it in full color because originally I was going to do more of a PDF, but then I decided it was more worth my while, after doing further research, to actually print it as a larger full color book. I've been working on this a lot lately, and there will be many upcoming videos that will feature snippets and artwork from this project that is ongoing. The Rainbow Chaos Dragon will have various stat blocks based on its age and power level that will be included in the book. I haven't finished finalizing them yet, but I know it's going to have a lot of chaotic abilities, both offensively and defensively, and I have another custom monster I made up that was partially the inspiration for deciding to do this dragon. The only thing I had worked out about the coloration at this point was chaos and rainbow. However, my first pass at a coloration I don't like at all. This entire first pass here is going to get scrapped for a much better version. I also decided to try to add in the far leg and then changed my mind. I believe the far leg is reasonably not visible from this angle, so I didn't include it. Scrapping this coloration once I realized it's more of a lost cause, I realized which colors or tones would look better. I also looked at additional reference of other people's versions of dragons and real animals, but in this case I was going more with the fantastical. I focus on allowing myself to make it pleasing to the eye and to incorporate rainbows not in the exact rainbow order, but in any order and location. I also allow myself to use darker or more muted tones, including shades of brown and very dark jewel tones for red, rather than having to focus on a bright, vibrant red. I look at different references in order to study things for how it's going to look, both as a painting that I'm going to use for my calendar with the sky in the background, and also with no background at all for how it will be intended in the book, because it's going to be viewed over a stat block. This kind of artwork is more to show someone an inspiration of how the creature can look, not to show a whole environment and background. Maybe a minimal, small little piece of a background could be included, and a few more full artworks showing environments, landscapes, and storytelling pieces will be in the book. But for now, the focus of this artwork is actually more on representing an individual of this species of dragon. I want it to be pleasing to the eye. I keep working on this for a long time until I'm actually happy with it. I do intend to do various art styles in this book, and I have to do everything myself, mostly because I simply can't afford to hire anyone else to help me at all with this book. So I have to do everything myself. Luckily, I'm capable of doing everything myself, as I'm an artist and a DM and an author, and I love to world build and custom create things. So I'm going to keep working very hard on this project. I'm intending to add in sketches and different styles of artwork, although everything will technically be my style because it'll be me, so that the book seems to have more of a variety of art and I'm not just doing everything in the exact same art style. As for the sky background, it's simply a public domain image of a photo of the sky, because for me, it wasn't super important to paint in every detail of the sky. I'm not intending on using this photograph of the sky for anything I'm publishing, just for the picture I'm printing out to hang on my own wall for my own personal calendar for this year's month of July. I definitely wanted to go in and do color holds. So, on the line art layer, I make sure to go over all the line art so that it's not this dark, almost black red, but rather it becomes different colors. I also do a layer on top of everything else in order to adjust to make it look more painterly once I decide I don't want it to look quite as lined in the final artwork. I have a separate layer that I'm going to do the shadows on, a separate layer I do highlights on, and another layer which is just a sort of grayish mask to make certain elements fade more into the background. Particularly the tail in the distance is going to fade more. Any of those flashes or strange things are when things get unclipped because I duplicated layers in order to merge several together to have a copy of another version so I could work out different possibilities. I diverge and make copies of layers if I'm going to do an experiment or I'm trying something. They are too extreme. I do end up dialing them back by literally lowering the opacity on different layers. I also change the layer modes. There are times when I turn off and on the shadow and the highlight layers so I can focus more on the colors underneath or focus more on how the picture looks as a whole. At a certain point around here, I stepped away from the painting for more than 8 hours because I started not liking how it looked to my eyes and I needed a break. I was becoming too close to the painting, and even though part of me understood it did look pretty good, part of me started thinking it looked absolutely terrible. Eventually around here, I came back later and realized I did really like it, but I definitely needed to tone down the opacity of both the highlights and the shadow layer to be truly happy with it. It doesn't look like much progress is happening here because I'm actually zoomed in pretty close and doing a lot of small details around the painting in different areas. At some points during this process, I was very happy with the picture, and at other points I was very unhappy with it. Sometimes I was focusing too much on trying to get it perfect, and other times I was focusing more on actually enjoying the process and making it look the way I want it to look. At times, I took a break from looking at my picture to look at other artworks that were featured in similar books for similar purposes to understand what I could learn from those artists. I also looked at many different images of dragons. I made several adjustments there rapidly. Sorry for the flashing. As you can see, after looking at that artwork, I realized some things had faded background elements that made the front part of the body pop and also encouraged the person to view the creature as quite large. That's when I decided to add that special layer that fades the tail away. I decided it looks much more grand and in focus and three-dimensional with that layer. Also, it'll work even better when the dragon has no sky in the background in the book, in order to put the focus more on the near body, while still showing the details in the tail. I continue working this way, zooming in for fine details, but also zooming out often enough that I don't lose sight of the full picture. I know that it's not going to be printed extremely large, and I make adjustments as I go. I actually liquefied that hand there to make it a little bit smaller because it looked a little bit too big to me. I add additional highlights. As I said, I have a top layer above everything else that I'm painting on that isn't clipped to the layers below, so I can add additional adjustments. The flashes are sometimes when I'm turning layers off and on more rapidly, and I'm sorry for the flashing that does occur in this video. I'm checking different things and how things look. I'm zooming in and out. I'm looking back at reference to decide what I can learn from it, how I can make my painting better. I'm taking breaks when I start getting frustrated or upset with the process, but I'm making sure to get this painting to a place where I'm truly happy with it. I'm not aiming for absolute perfection, because no artist ever reaches that, but I'm aiming for good enough. I'm aiming for done. I'm aiming for the right feeling, look, and completion. It's also going to be a time limit based thing, as I don't have forever to do every artwork. Let me know what you think. Once again, that's all for this video. If you like my videos, please remember to like, subscribe, and turn on that notification bell to all notifications so you will know when a new video comes up. I aim for new videos every Wednesday, but sometimes life happens and things are delayed. I hope that you enjoyed this video, and we'll see you with another one very soon.